All right, today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on green screen project. This is very simple. It's just how to pull the green screen out and how to add a background and do some cropping if you have an image with doesn't have a completely green background. So I know some of you have been asking me to help you. I figured I'd make this tutorial so that you can see it, you can play it back as many times as you need, and you don't have to necessarily have my attention if I'm helping other people or if you're even at home working on it. So here we go. As always, we're going to make a new project. I've already created a blank project called green screen. Normally you would do new project, change the name up here to the name, we'll call it green screen demo. You can go ahead and create a new sequence if you like, but typically I don't, so we can turn it on, turn it off, and hit create. This will make a new kind of blank space for you. The next thing you're going to do is import your media. So you should have a blue, if you made a new, brand new, you should have a little blue button that says import media. If you don't, you can hold Control and press I, and that'll bring up a window where you can get your clips. Now, you should have your clips already downloaded and hopefully in your media folder. So I'm going to go to media, and then I have a green screen folder, and I have my green screen practice clips. So I have a couple of them. I'm going to go with one of these here. I'll go with this group. Hit open, and it'll pop up. I also need to add a background. So I'm going to hit Control I again, and then I'm going to go to my downloads folder. And I know I have some background. I'll do the countryside. And then I have an idea for what I'm going to do. So I'm going to import a third green screen. So I'm going to show you how to layer multiple in case that is something you want to do. So I'm actually going to also add the plane crash. So I have two green screen clips and a background. So typically you want to grab your background, the green screen video first, and it'll create a sequence down here for you to edit, and it'll be the right size. So drag your green screen video in first, one of them, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'll scrub and show you that it's just them reacting to like a crash. So you want to click on the clip that you want to edit, and then you're going to go to your windows and you're going to click on the effects. You may know where this is. In my case, it's down here at the bottom, so I could just click there. But if you're not sure, click window, and if there's a blue check mark, it's somewhere, you just can't see it. But if you click on the text, it'll actually bring it up. So moving on to add the actual effect to the video. Green screen is actually called chroma keying and is a video effect. So we're going to open the video effect folder, and then we're going to go down to keying, because it's called chroma keying is the technical term. And then we're going to apply this ultra key. So you take the ultra key, drag it, click and drag, and then put it onto the clip that you want to edit, and then let go. Now, if you have your effect controls open, you should see a new category called ultra key. If you don't have your effect open, you can go effect controls open, go to window, and you want to turn on the effect controls by clicking that check mark in front of it. And if it is check marked, just click on the word effect controls, and it'll bring those controls up. So now we want to look at the ultra key. Make sure you stay clicked on this clip that you want to edit. You want to open the ultra key, and you're going to have some settings. And now that we have a key, we need to tell it what color we want to take out. So in this case, it's going to look under the key color category. And we're going to click on this eyedropper. And then we go over to the video and find the most green. Now they do have some shadow, so this green's a little bit darker, but you want to click on the majority of the background color. So I'll click on the green, and you can see it removed most of it, but you can still see some of the shadows, which there are ways to fix it, but for the purposes of this project, it's not a big deal. Now on your video, if it's not a consistent green, you can change some of the settings here to help pick up these other colors that are green but maybe a slightly different shade by going to the ultra key settings. go to setting, and then choose aggressive. This will actually make the software look for more shades of green rather than just the specific one that you picked with the dropper. So if I click aggressive, you're going to see that it picks up more of the green and drops more of the black. Makes it more black. So in order to add the background, I'm going to go back to my project where all my clips are, and I'm going to take the countryside and I'm going to drop it into the timeline. Now, we've talked about layers in the past, and remember that when things are stacked in the timeline, only the top one, whatever's on the top will show before whatever's below it. So if I were to take this countryside picture and put it here, you see that it's smaller, so it covers them, right? But we don't want them in behind the countryside, we want the countryside behind them. So we're simply going to take this video, drag it up one video layer, and then we can slide the countryside picture underneath it. So now, if I move my playhead to the right spot, you're going to see that the countryside is behind it. So two things wrong here. It is green screen and you do have a background, but there's two things wrong. One, the picture's too small. And two, you have a bunch of area outside of the green screen. But because we have really good software, we can fix that. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and enlarge the backdrop. So again, we do that by clicking on the clip we want to manipulate. And then we go over to Effect Controls. If you can't find it, again, go Window, click on Effect Controls. And then we're going to open the Motion category. And inside Motion, you see a category called Scale. Scale deals with size. So I'm going to see, once I click on Scale, you can see there's dots on the corner. You can either drag the dots, and you'll see it scale up. Or if you click here and you know how big you want it to be, you can punch in a number, like 200. 200 is a little too big, so I'm going to bring it down because I don't want it to barely fill the screen. So as long as you don't see any black bars around the top or bottom, you're good. Let me change this to fit. Perfect. Okay, so now I have my background, but like I mentioned before, the green screen, you have a bunch of stuff that wasn't removed because it wasn't green. So I'm going to fix that. So we're going to do that by creating what's called a layer mask. And we're going to do a layer mask with the opacity, because opacity has to do with being able to see through things. So if I click the drop arrow and I go to opacity, there's three options for how we can do a mask. The first one is an oval. It creates an oval automatically. And so I can move it. I can reshape it. This is good if you have circular objects, but I don't want an oval. You could do a square. And then, or actually in this case it's a rectangle. And then you can adjust the points if that works for you. The only problem with this one is this isn't perfectly straight. So if I wanted to go across like that, you're going to have some kind of, it's not going to look exactly the way you want to get it right? So we probably need to use this area here. You can add points to it. That's a possibility. But I like to use what's called the free draw. It's called the Bezier is what it's called. So I click on the pin, and this allows me to click wherever I want. So you just click and let go, and then go to the next spot, click and let go. And then we're just kind of making almost like an old connect the dots. Now, as you get more advanced, you can do things like click and drag. And if you click and drag, see I went a little bit outside, I'll fix that later. If you click and drag, you can actually create curves. Can't really see that one that well. Let's say I clicked here, and I can create curves if you have like circular objects and you wanted to make it rounded. But for this case, I just want to get all of the green screen. So then when you're done, I can go all the way across. I only need to click once. You click on the first dot you started with, and it'll cut it out. So now I have a cutout of, my fault. I actually cut out the wrong clip. So that's a great example of if you click on the wrong thing, you're going to edit the wrong thing. So I'm going to delete the mask by clicking on it, hit backspace. I'm going to click on the green screen layer. Then I'm going to do opacity, the pen tool, and then I'm going to go through and do what I just did. So you guys are learning from my mistakes. I clicked on the wrong clip. I'll go under, try to keep it as close to the edge of the green without going off. There. And now it's cut out everything that is not inside the box. If I move the box, you can see that it'll adjust, right? But I don't want that, so Control Z, put it back where it was. Now I have this cut out, and I have a good, clean, you know, it's a little shade, there's a little bit of the shadow here, but not that big of a concern at this point. This is teaching you the basics of green screening. So I have that. Now I want to resize them. So we're going to go to the motion category and choose scale, just like we did before. Ooh, looks like I cleaned that up a little bit. And then I want to shrink them. And I'm going to put them like down here in this cornfield or just open field. I'll go back to that opacity mask. Let me fix that really quick. Just want to make sure you don't like cut off their feet. Oops. Right there. And that should be good. That looks better. It's not 100% perfect, but I'm not going to sit here and do it the whole time. It's just for the purpose of time. So they're good. They're standing there. Now, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my project, and I'm going to add the plane crash. Now, what's nice is you can actually, because you're cutting out pieces, it's kind of like scrapbooking. So we're going to cut out, we're going to stack pieces on top of each other. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get rid of this logo. I'm going to go to my effects. We're just going to do the same thing we did the first time. Drag the Ultra key onto that. And then I'm going to tell Ultra key, click the dropper, choose the green, and now that green is gone. But when I hit play, you're going to see okay. So that's good, except we have people and it kind of goes through them, so it shows you that it's not 100% real. So we can do one of two things. We can move the people or we can make the plane smaller. I'm going to choose to make the plane smaller. Click on the plane, click on scale. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and I'm going to make it crash and end more over here to the side. So that's good. And then what I do notice is that my background disappears about halfway. So I'm going to take the background and I'm going to extend it all the way through the end of the clip. So let's try to take a look now. So I noticed this is the point where they react. So I'm doing a little bit more advanced stuff. I'm going to mark where they react by pressing M, and then I'm going to line that up with where the plane crashes and stops. This is just a personal preference. You guys don't have to do this unless you really want to. So I know that little marker right there is where they react. So I'll line it up with where the plane kind of, right after it crashes. We'll see how that looks. Okay, now I'm going to shorten everything so it all matches up. And that is the first green screen. So now, because I've used 2 of these clips, I just need to do one more. I would do the same thing, take a picture, take one of these videos here, and go ahead and add it to the timeline, remove the back green, add a background, and I'm all done. So that's the end of this tutorial. You can do it on your own. You can watch this as many times as you like. If you still have questions, come see me and I will give you a hand. Thank you.